Stop scrolling for a second and really pay attention, because what happened on Instagram Live caught a lot of people off guard. Viewers expected a normal appearance, maybe some promotion or casual talking, but instead they saw Claressa Shields in a very emotional moment. She appeared tired, her voice sounded heavy, and the energy of the live felt serious from the start. People quickly realized this was not just another online moment. It felt personal, raw, and difficult to watch. Within minutes, clips began spreading everywhere, and fans started trying to understand exactly what she was saying and why it mattered so much. During the live, she shared claims about a relationship that had been hidden from the public. She spoke slowly, choosing her words carefully, almost like she had been holding them inside for a long time. According to her, she had trusted someone who promised her a future together. She said she believed in plans that were discussed privately, away from social media and cameras. Viewers noticed that she wasn't yelling or trying to create drama. Instead, she sounded like someone finally explaining a story that had been weighing on her for months. Then came the part that shocked many people watching. She said she was pregnant. The chat exploded instantly, and screenshots began circulating before the live even ended. Some people expressed support right away, while others questioned what was happening. The speed of the internet made everything feel intense. One moment she was speaking quietly, and the next moment her words were trending across different platforms. Fans began going back through old interviews and posts, searching for clues they might have missed earlier. She explained that the relationship had not felt casual to her. She said she had been given reassurance many times and that she believed certain promises were real. According to her story, she was told that a previous relationship was already over emotionally and that big life changes were coming soon. She described feeling certain about the future, not confused or unsure. That detail made a strong impression on viewers because certainty changes how people make decisions. When someone believes something is stable, they move forward differently than they would if they felt unsure. As she continued, she described how she discovered she was expecting a child. Instead of talking about happiness first, she spoke about fear. She explained that the fear came from wondering whether she would be supported or left to handle everything alone. She said she chose not to share the news right away because she wanted to watch how things unfolded. She waited, she observed, and she tried to understand whether the person she trusted would stand beside her when reality became serious. According to what she said, the reaction she received was not what she expected. She described a sudden change in tone during conversations. Words that once felt warm began to sound distant. Instead of shared plans, she said the discussions became practical and cold. She claimed that the energy shifted from we to you, which made her feel alone even before anything officially ended. People watching the live noticed her hands shaking at certain moments, and many said it felt like she was reliving the experience as she spoke. One part of her story created a huge reaction online. She alleged that the person involved left physically, returning to another city and continuing life as if nothing had changed. Fans started comparing timelines and sharing old photos, trying to piece together what might have happened behind the scenes. The contrast between her emotional state and the normal public image of the other person fueled intense debates. Some viewers felt protective of her, while others argued that there were still many unanswered questions. She suggested that promises about divorce and a new beginning may not have been as clear as she once believed. She didn't present it as a simple mistake, but as something that felt planned or managed. That implication made the conversation even more serious because it hinted at deeper issues than just a breakup. However, she avoided naming specific details that could turn the live into a direct confrontation. Instead, she focused on her own feelings and the choices she made based on what she says she was told. What stood out to many viewers was her calm delivery. She wasn't trying to insult anyone or create chaos. She spoke as if she was documenting events rather than arguing. Dates, conversations, and changes in behavior were mentioned carefully. Even people who were unsure about the full story admitted that her tone felt controlled and intentional. The comment section slowly shifted from jokes to serious discussion as people realized how heavy the situation sounded. She also addressed why she kept the pregnancy private for so long. Her explanation was simple but emotional. She said she believed that once the situation became real, the affection she had experienced might disappear. According to her, hiding the news wasn't about shame. It was about protecting herself while she figured out what was truly happening. That statement connected with many viewers who shared similar experiences in their own lives. After the live ended, the conversation didn't slow down. Instead, it grew louder. Clips were edited, reposted, and analyzed from every angle. Some people said she looked relieved after speaking, like someone finally putting down a heavy secret. Others questioned whether the story was missing important details. Without an immediate response from the other side, speculation filled the silence. Bloggers, commentators, and fans all added their own interpretations, which made the situation feel even more complicated. In the days that followed, she stayed mostly quiet online. She didn't argue with critics or respond to every rumor. That silence made people pay even more attention to small details. Old interviews were revisited, and casual comments from the past were suddenly viewed in a different light. It showed how quickly public perception can change once a new narrative appears. The same moments that once seemed harmless now looked suspicious to some viewers. Anonymous voices began appearing online, claiming to have inside information. Some said they had heard about wedding discussions months earlier. Others claimed there were difficult phone calls leading up to the live. None of these statements were confirmed, but they kept the conversation alive. The internet often moves on quickly, yet this story continued to grow because it touched on themes many people recognized, like trust, promises, and feeling abandoned. Eventually, she spoke again, but this time her tone was even more measured. She said the situation was no longer just about heartbreak. It was about relying on words that were presented as facts. She explained that she made decisions based on repeated reassurance, not blind hope. That distinction mattered because it changed how people interpreted her actions. She wasn't describing a misunderstanding. She was describing what she believed was a clear agreement that later changed. When asked about screenshots and alleged messages circulating online, she avoided confirming or denying them. Instead, she said that truth does not always require every piece of evidence to be posted publicly. That statement divided opinion. Supporters saw it as strength and restraint, while critics argued that proof was necessary. Still, many noticed that her story remained consistent each time she spoke, which kept the discussion going. She later shifted the focus away from the relationship and toward her own stability. She talked about preparing for the future, focusing on health, routines, and personal growth. That change in direction surprised people who expected more drama. Instead of escalating the conflict, she seemed to step back from it. The story began to feel less like a public argument and more like a personal journey that happened to unfold in front of millions. As weeks passed, the online reaction changed. First, it was loud and emotional. Later, it became reflective. Many viewers began sharing their own experiences in comment sections, explaining how they related to feelings of being promised something that never fully happened. The conversation stopped being only about celebrities and started touching on broader themes about relationships and responsibility. Interestingly, the lack of a strong public response from the other side remained one of the biggest talking points. Some people believed silence meant legal caution. Others thought it suggested guilt or avoidance. There were also voices saying that staying quiet might be a reminder that not every private matter needs to be fought online. Without clear answers, everyone interpreted the situation differently. Over time, the story settled into a quieter phase. It wasn't trending every day, but it didn't disappear either. It became a reference point in discussions about trust and accountability. Observers noted how steady she appeared during interviews and public appearances, rarely changing details or showing dramatic emotional swings. That consistency shaped how many people viewed her credibility. Months later, there was still no clear resolution. No joint statement, no obvious reconciliation, and no final explanation that satisfied everyone. Instead, the situation remained open-ended, much like real life. Some people continued to believe her fully, others stayed skeptical. What remained undeniable was the impact the live had on public conversation. It reminded audiences how quickly perception can shift when someone decides to speak openly about personal struggles. In the end, the story didn't conclude with a dramatic twist or a final reveal. It simply stayed present in people's memories, resurfacing whenever discussions about loyalty or promises appeared online. Whether every detail was true or not, the emotional weight of the moment left a lasting impression. It showed how powerful a single live stream can be when someone speaks from a place of vulnerability and control at the same time. And maybe that's why the situation still feels unfinished. Not because there were loud confrontations or shocking updates, but because the silence that followed created space for people to reflect. Some saw it as a warning about trusting too quickly. Others saw it as an example of personal strength during a difficult chapter. Whatever perspective viewers chose, one thing became clear. The moment was more than just a viral clip. It became a record of how stories evolve when truth, perception, and emotion collide in front of the world.